it's Trisha the Knitting Lady, and it's Johann Sebastian Bach's birthday. That's why I started out with the introduction. Now, he wrote a lot of music. He was born March 31st, 1685, and died in 1750. And he's German, but I always like playing Bach because your hands are doing two different things, different exercises. Interesting. It's also the birth date of Al Gore. He was born in 1948. And Christopher Walken, one of my favorite actors. He was born in 1943. Not getting any younger. And it's a sad day in a way because on this day in 1995, the singer Selena, who was 23 years old, was shot to death in Corpus Christi, Texas by the founder of her fan club. Always liked her. You think she was related to me when I heard what happened to her. It really got me very upset because not only was she beautiful, she was so talented and she had such a future, you know. Like I said, I always liked her. And the Mexican music she sang, I had no problem listening to it. I always liked that music when I lived in Tucson, Arizona, and mariachi band. I loved going to see mariachi bands. I just loved the music. So, and I keep saying I'm not going to say that. Yesterday was the anniversary of the first showing of Jeopardy! One of my favorite shows. I don't have a TV anymore, but I always liked playing the game. I tried out for Jeopardy! I did not do well. Sure, I know a lot of useless stuff, but I don't think that quick on my feet, and you had to think quick. And I remember I went through the test, and afterwards, it was by phone. And afterwards, the things I didn't get, I was like, now I know the answer. A lot of good it does me, right? So, anyway, on this day in 1889, the Eiffel Tower was dedicated in Paris. I don't know if you've been to Paris. I have. It's been years, but I remember going up in the Eiffel Tower. And to me, it was just all iron, you know. I didn't think it was that attractive. It was interesting, but, you know, it's still, you know, especially when you see it from afar and at night, it's really something else. In 1944, Adolf Hitler was losing to the Allies, and he ordered the military general Dietrich von Clostitz to destroy the entire city of Paris, including the Eiffel Tower. So, you know, I guess he figured, well, if I can't have Paris, neither can you. But his general did not obey him. He disagreed and instead surrendered to the Allies. So thank goodness for him. And he was honored afterwards as the savior of Paris, this Clotilde, because he refused to destroy it. And it's technically, I didn't know this, it's technically illegal to photograph the tower at night. Every night, the tower lights up in what is called the illuminating show. It's considered artwork and copyrighted. So anyone taking a photo of it at night and putting on social media can be fined. Well, when I went to Paris, it was so many years ago, social media was not a thing anyway. I don't think I have any photos of the Eiffel Tower at night. I never considered myself a great photographer to begin with, especially back then, so I probably would have just bought a postcard. I'm getting a little better with photography. In fact, I enjoy it. I was even thinking of taking it up as a hobby, but I'll have to think about that. One thing I don't know that much about cameras. I remember seeing a photographer, he was a well-known photographer, and his stuff was in the Museum of Modern Art. And lately, all his stuff is done with an iPhone. So maybe that's all I need is an iPhone. And the repainting of the Eiffel Tower, of course, it's got to be repainted every few years, just like any big statue or whatever. It's done by hand. They don't use a machine to paint the Eiffel Tower. It's the most visited paid tourist attraction in the world. It welcomes almost 7 million people a year. So I know you can go up in it, or you could. I don't know what's happened since the COVID, what they let people do, if you're allowed to go up in Eiffel Tower anymore. I remember going up. Like I said, it was years ago. And I want to show you what I'm making. And I'll try to link where I got the suggestion from. I'm making a rectangle granny square blanket. Colors of the Outback, Mel from Colors of the Outback was making one. And she linked another YouTube channel with instructions. So I watched that last night. Instead of doing work, I'm doing rectangle granny square. That's okay. Took me I had to watch it twice because I missed one part, but that's okay. That's a great thing about YouTube. You can replay it. So I'll work on that. I have all this baby yarn, so I'll make one big blanket with the baby yarn. And I haven't mentioned affirmations or positive quotations. So the one for today is trust. It is better to suffer wrong than to do it, and happier to be sometimes cheated than not to trust. That's Samuel Johnson said that, the famous English writer. We worry about being taken advantage of, so we keep our guard up. We protect ourselves. We are suspicious of people we don't know very well. It's good to be careful. There are people who would cheat us if they could. But being cheated is not the worst thing that can happen to us. Worse would be to let our mistrust make us bitter, cold, and withdrawn. And the affirmation is, I am smart about protecting myself, but I want to be open to people and experiences well. I have a real problem with that. I don't trust many people. So I have to work on that. And tomorrow, for April 1st, is changing our lives. Human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives. And that's a quote by William James. Some call it visionary, others call it dreaming. Visioning, not visionary. Some call it visioning. Others call it dreaming, reframing, visualization, positive thinking, or cognitive therapy. A lot of big words. And still others just do it and don't call it anything. It's the art of deliberately picturing something that we desire, a behavior, goal, or outcome, so that's more likely to come about. Thinking alone isn't going to make something happen, of course. But once we have a vision, we can begin to act in ways that will make the vision become real. And the affirmation is, I have a picture of how I want my life to go. What do I need to make it happen? It's true. One step at a time. You can't do it in one big step. You have to do one step at a time. So I hope everybody's having a good day. And if you get a chance and want to relax, put on some Bach. I'll probably have some later as I'm at work. I try to keep music on in the background because I find it relaxes me. I just don't I keep it very low, so if I'm on the phone with someone, they can't hear the music. But that's about it. So everybody take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully, if not Friday. And Vincent is still recovering from his birthday. So take care.